Watch Who? Hello, and welcome to Watch Who, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Mark.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm a Doctor Who fan.
And I'm new to watching Who.
Watching for the very first time.
Very first time.
And I'm also this time watching for the very first time. Because it's Probe Unnatural Selection, part of our 90s spin-off Who season. And I've never watched this one either for the very first time.
I know.
Yeah, we're making history today.
Making history. History is happening.
But before we start, I've got a few little things to talk about. Actually, so first up, this happened today when our TV movie episode went out. I'm just saying thank you to Lucas, who pointed out that the end of the episode was missing. It went out this morning, and like the last few minutes was like, God, I don't know what happened. Something happened in the file. So I replaced it immediately. I would not have noticed otherwise. It looked all right when I uploaded it the other day. So thank you, Lucas, for your swift action there.
That's
You saved all of us.
Apologies, all.
Oh, also, we've heard from Christy again. So Downtime, which we did a couple of weeks ago, had the Brigadier in and everything, right? And I was saying how it doesn't make sense. You're looking at me like you can't remember it, but it's fine. Where the Brigadier was in the school.
Oh, yeah.
He was working, and I was saying, well, when we last saw him in actual Doctor Who, he was with Doris at the house and everything, so what happened? And she said, and I don't know why this never came into my head, Downtime is set before that one in Doctor Who. So Downtime is set in like 95 or something, and then the Doctor Who one is set in like 97, a few years later. So he was at the school, and then after all of that stuff with Kate and stuff, he's obviously gone off to that big house. That makes so much more sense.
There we go.
There we go, everybody. If you're wondering that,
if like Mark.
Oh, and also there's some interesting Doctor Who news that has come out. Another colorization is happening at Christmas time. So the trailer came out the other week. The War Games in colour. That's the second Doctor's last story with Patrick Troughton's last story.
Yeah, that feels so
there was like the Warlord and all of that. So they've that 10 episodes.
Yeah.
But they've cut it down to like...
That is right, isn't it? I've not just made Warlord up. That rings a bell.
Well, the Warlord.
Exactly. That's in my head for a reason.
Well, no, yours was like Warlord. So that 10 episodes has been edited down to like an hour and a bit.
Oh my gosh, that's a dream.
This is your dream. Yeah. Edited down and in colour. How amazing.
Oh my gosh.
So obviously half the fans are complaining, half are like excited, of course, as usual. So we'll see how that is. But that's exciting. There's another colorisation.
Surely, if you're like new to doing this, like I would be, you could watch that shorter version, and then if you enjoyed it, go, I want to see the full one.
The other thing as well, they put in the trailer. So at the end of that, we see Patrick Troughton like spinning around. Sorry, just thinking of Carmen
spinning around. Did you go there as well?
Yeah. Sorry, that's going straight into my head.
You know each other so well.
So you see him doing that, and then it cuts, and that's the end. And then John Pertwee's in the next one, right?
Oh yeah, because of course on the thing he just sort of do a spin.
But in this new version, in the thing, they're showing they're doing a regeneration, like new Who style. So everyone's like, probably up in arms about that as well. But we'll see how it goes. So it's all new special effects and stuff, colour and everything. The Warlord's got like little red glasses on and stuff. It's gonna be wild, everyone. That's on Christmas Eve, I think it's out.
Oh my gosh. Nothing says Christmas like War Games.
Oh, and also, this is, it's not really news, but I have to tell you about this.
All right, go on.
I had a dream.
Right, go on. This isn't news at all. No, you're right. Go on. I had a dream.
I've been thinking about this all week. I had a dream. I was shopping with Terry Nation. I was in a shopping centre with Terry Nation. And we were just walking along, looking around the shops, having a great time.
You and Terry Nation?
Me and Terry Nation. I don't know why. Me and Terry Nation, who's in a nice like suit. And I think he was really tall. I don't think he was actually that tall in real life.
Because you're quite tall.
He was like, I was looking up to him. Like, he was really tall.
Right, how tall are you? 6 foot?
I don't know, something like that.
No, you're taller than 6 foot. You're 6 foot what, 3?
Anyway, he was tall.
You're tall.
He was tall. So we're walking along, going around the shopping. It's like a modern shopping centre. And we were chatting, having a great time. And then I said to him, "Oh, you wrote all those Dalek stories, didn't you? You just wrote all the same thing again and you just changed the names." And we sort of stopped and we were outside, I don't know, like JJB Sports or something. And he looked at me and he looked really like angry that I'd accused him of just making up the same stories again. And he looked really angry and then he sort of just laughed and went, "Yeah, you're right." And we started laughing and carried on doing shopping. Don't know what that was all about.
Listeners, just for like reference as to how tall Mark is, right? As to why I'm laughing so much. When I was decorating my flat, I did the bottom and Mark decorated the top because he didn't need a ladder. Okay? That is truth. That is true. I made you decorate the top bits near the ceiling because you didn't need the ladder, and I did the bottom. So
What's all those memes about Gary Barlow's son?
oh yeah, because have you seen the picture?
Yeah, maybe I've been looking at that and it's just ended up as Terry Nation in my head. Like,
But you've seen the picture, like he's just really tall.
Yeah.
Gary Barlow's not a tall man.
No.
So it's
No.
just more around like, where is this tall lad coming from? Like, it's just that.
Terry Nation is my son.
But you are definitely taller than Gary Barlow.
Well, I don't know. I've never met him.
Right. I'm gonna like you are.
Oh, I think Gary Barlow's really short, actually.
He is, yeah, that's what I've just said. Yeah. Gary Barlow. I'm gonna get Gary Barlow height. I'm on it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try Terry Nation height and see if anything happens.
1.75 meters, but I need that in like that doesn't help me. Okay.
Oh no, I've got John Terry in height here, not Terry Nation.
So Gary Barlow is 5'7", and his son Daniel is 6'2". Now, for reference, if you don't understand what 5'7" is, Mark, I'm 5'4".
Okay.
He's only 3 inches taller than me.
Okay, that's quite short.
But that also shows how tall you are, because you know how short I am to you.
Anyway, what are we talking about?
I don't know, you brought it up.
Anyway, so that's what happened, everyone. I had a dream about Terry Nation. Right. Let's talk about today's story. So it's another probe this time. And actually, I edited it out of last week's episode. I told you the wrong title. I got it wrong. I said it was The Ghosts of Winterbourne, but it's actually Unnatural Selection this time. I know. I got it all wrong. But I was right about the running time. It was like 47 minutes. So... Yeah. And as I say, I've never seen this before. I remember seeing the video actually in Woolworths, when it came out. This is like 96, 97. And I do remember it being like a 15, I think, and thinking, oh, I wonder what that's about. But I don't know. It was never one of those ones that I got as, like all of these probe ones I didn't watch at the time. And I just never got around to watching this. So it was all new to me. And I was not expecting it to be so gruesome at all.
I watched this twice, as in I did not twice, sorry.
Oh my God.
No. Let me correct that. 2 watches it took of this, right? So I did like 38 minutes and then I had like 10 minutes left to watch. Both times over food. I was sat having some food. It was the only time I had to watch it. So I was sat in Cozy Club with headphones in on my phone, obviously not knowing how gruesome it was going to be. So there was that. I wasn't expecting a naked bum.
Not what you expect from a Liz Shaw Investigates. Although I'm used to now this is like the 3rd one we're doing of this. I'm totally over like the production stuff.
Yeah, same. I've just accepted it.
It's just not a thing anymore. So I was right into the story of this, and it's Liz. She's investigating again. We come to it mid-investigation.
It did feel very 90s, and I'll tell you what made it feel very 90s: the car. Like as soon as I saw that car, I felt like I was on The Bill.
Oh, it's very The Bill.
It's very The Bill. I felt like I was, and like you had that copper, the undercover. I'd call him an undercover investigator because obviously, in The Bill, everyone would be cops. but he'd be like an undercover. It felt like the Bill.
Well, we start off. There's a lady attacked. That's our way into it. Oh yeah, it's written by Mark Gatiss again. These all are, and he's in it as well, but playing somebody else.
He is in this.
So Liz is called in to see this patient. This lady's been attacked, and it's part of a wider investigation. These people have been turning up, and like their organs are missing or something. That's what's been happening.
Yeah.
Something, yeah. Oh, the doctor that she talks to though was in the first probe. Was one of the ladies in the hospital. She's playing somebody else in this as well.
Oh, okay.
So they're reusing the same people. It's weird that they're playing other people, but it's sort of in the same series. It's a bit weird, but
I was going to ask about this, right? In the credits, the first person listed, hang on, because I've got Gary Barlow Height as my, is Catherine Rayner. That is the first person listed on the credits before Liz Shaw or anyone else.
Catherine Rayner. Oh, well, Catherine, it plays Angela, who was a woman who was attacked at the beginning. So maybe the people are in order of appearance?
I don't know. That's right. But also, when I Googled Catherine Rayner, she's an American billionaire heiress.
Well,
and I was like, is that what's funded this whole thing?
Oh, hang on. No, I've got her on IMDb here. Catherine Rayner, lady attacked. Probe is her only credit. Oh, no, she's Angela, the lady that's attacked at the beginning, and she's also the assistant makeup artist for it.
Oh, yeah, there she is. I found her on IMDb too, yeah, Probe.
I mean, when she's attacked in the hospital, she got some great makeup on. She couldn't have done that herself.
Right.
Oh, yeah, so anyway.
Sorry, we're jumping around there. I literally jumped to the credits at the end there, sorry.
Oh, yeah, and then Liz, she's straight in there. She's doing what we're used to her doing now. She's going in, she's asking questions to people. And this reminded me, like, maybe it was the quality of the video and everything, where she's talking to the doctor, being like, what happened? What do you think this is? It's like the VHS Cluedo game. I don't know, have you ever played that?
No.
Where they play the scenes and stuff, they're all having the dinner or whatever. It's like play scene 1 and then, it's like what happened. It just looked like that.
Oh, you see, no, I've never seen that, but I can imagine.
Okay.
I can imagine.
So it was that kind of vibe. It was Cluedo vibes that she's given. Oh, and then we see that our sort of villains of the week. So we've got the Julius, the professor, and his assistant out in this lovely country house. Great shot, great tracking shot. They've got the track down. The only annoying thing is there's a massive main road in the background. You can still hear it. They haven't learned their lesson from last time.
But that's okay. I'm over these things. I'm over them.
And I mean, that guy that plays the professor, he's a really good actor. Like he's from the Royal Shakespeare Company.
I was trying to work out if he'd been in Doctor Who before.
No, I feel like he should have though.
Yeah.
He could have been. He's done Midsummer Murders. He's done Holby City. He's like he's had a big career. But no, he does bring a quality to it. I mean, they're all the acting.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Fun.
No, it's not a diss.
What I was gathering, because I've only seen this the once, something about evolution. They were tasked. They were like a secret organization, like trying to work out the next stage in evolution. So sort of experimenting on people. And there was like 3 sort of creature things that they made.
Yeah, I mean,
part
I didn't
of
get
this.
As far as that, I just understood that like Operation Beagle was about they created something and then had to kill it, and obviously they didn't.
Have we talked about? I feel like we talked about Charles Darwin recently on something, but I can't. I'm trying to think of which story it would have been.
No, I
we
don't
haven't had
think
anything.
so.
I just really like Charles Darwin. I think there's a really nice statue of him in Cambridge. I'm sure I've said this.
No.
What was the one?
Maybe when we were in Cambridge.
No.
Not us personally, but the episode.
I remember. Oh, maybe it was. Yes, I think because I said I went to his bedroom and you could visit his bedroom. I love Charles Darwin. He's got a great bedroom. I have.
I went to his bedroom.
So yeah, they created 20 years ago 3 creatures, and they were all supposed to be like killed because they didn't like sort of work out. It was a bit like weird experiments. A very 90s thing. You'd find it in a Doctor Who 90s novel. You'd find it in the X-Files. It's all that kind of thing. It's so funny that this would have come out really near that TV movie last week. They're completely different versions of Doctor Who,
I know,
in a
because
way.
what year are we now? 97?
We're in 96 still.
We're still in
So they're coming out in the
96.
same... Yeah, we're still in 96.
Gosh, I'm still
So they're...
6.
But then also, I was... well, you wouldn't have been able to get this on video at 6 years old.
What year?
No.
Sorry, what year? What month?
I don't know the month. You
Then.
could have been 5.
I know, I'm just thinking that I could have still been 5.
But then I was
When
thinking
was the
as well...
TV movie?
May 96.
I was 5 then.
Obviously, Doctor Who had tried to come back and it might have been a bigger thing. Oh my God. Sorry, everybody. I have just missed... Last week, I missed out a massive story to tell you connected to the TV movie.
Oh,
I can't...
well,
it's just come into my head. Only because when I did that Annika Will's birthday party Zoom thing...
Oh my gosh, yeah. That I was like, you even went to. Yeah, go on.
So the TV movie was made in Canada, in Vancouver. It was shot in Vancouver because they all are. X-Files was. It was just the thing. I think there's like a tax thing where they can go to Canada. Yeah. Guess who was living in Vancouver at the time?
Oh my gosh. Annika Wills.
Annika Wills was running an art shop in Vancouver at the time.
Of course she was. Of course
and
she was.
She tells this story. I must have recorded it actually. She tells a story. She heard that Doctor Who was being made. And she says, she's like, well, why haven't they got in touch with me? Anyway, she phones up the production company and says, I used to be in Doctor Who. What is going on? Anyway, she invited herself to the premiere of it in Canada by being like, you need to make me. She like got onto the production people or like, I'm Annika Wills. I'm
like,
coming to the... Yeah. And she's like, I used to be a Doctor Who. I was there at the first regeneration. I need to be here. And she invited herself there just like that and got involved.
Of course
so
she
there we
did.
go. Yeah. That's just come into my head. Only because I was thinking it couldn't have been... okay, yeah, the production's a bit ropey sometimes, but I was just thinking Caroline John, as coming back to play Liz, she could have done the first one and been like, I don't want to be involved in this. But they're all coming back. So it mustn't have been so terrible for all of them to do that. Because we've got Louise Jameson back again and we've got Geoffrey Beevers, Crispy Master, back. And I was just thinking it couldn't have been so terrible for her to come back and do this. And it's giving, and she might have enjoyed, doing that acting against the professor guy. It's that chance to, there's some great scenes.
I think in the nicest way, it's a job.
I wonder how much they got paid. I mean,
it wouldn't have been loads, but equally, she's probably not at a loss doing it. She's not doing it for free. It's a nice job. You're probably looked after and stuff because there isn't a huge budget, but the people that will be looking after you and stuff. Like you say, she probably has a lot of love for the fandom and stuff and knows that it'll be liked. So it's probably stuff like that. And this is, things coming out in the 90s then, it's not what we have for budgets and stuff now. It's very different. Like I said, it feels very built. It's not awful. It's just very different.
We got Mark Gatiss again, and he looks very much like the Master in this. He's got his little Master beard, which is a bit of a clue because the first time you see him,
literally, as soon as I saw him, I was like, "Well, you're going to be involved as the baddie." Like, so obvious. But there was a little bit of me that chuckled that he's been in every story. I did have a little chuckle to myself, like, "Oh, third appearance now. Okay, yeah."
Well, he loves it, and also he has played on audio. He plays an alternative version of the Master. I think he loves the Master, and you could see him sort of relishing being like, because he's playing up against at the end. He's playing up against the guy, Crispy Master guy, and I think he's loving that being the baddie against his favourite baddie. I think he's done that all on purpose, and he's put the beard on purpose. I can just see him as a fan doing all of that.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, so, it's a short sort of mystery, isn't it, basically? So there's something that is taking people's organs and stuff. We have a little bit of Louise Jameson back in the government building. I wonder if they filmed that at the same time as the last one, because it looks exactly the same. And then this is where the first horrible bit, okay, it's a normal investigation, fine. And then when they push that woman's eyes, so something comes and attacks her. The lady's been attacked. She's in hospital recovering, being guarded. Someone knocks out the guard and attacks the lady in the hospital and takes her eyes, because obviously she was the last she's seen who's attacked her. And is it Liz? Someone pushes the eye and
disgusting.
Liz pushes the eye and all this pus comes out instead of
I
an
was eating
eyeball.
buttermilk chicken at that point.
Oh my God. I really did. I
Really
was like,
was. I was there with my buttermilk chicken and I was like, and I think I went forward 10 seconds. You know, you can skip forward. I was like, I get the idea.
it was
I don't think I'm going to miss
horrible.
anything by skipping forward 10 seconds.
It was so horrible. And I was like, oh my God, I need to text you just in case, just to warn you that it could be gruesome.
I was already in it. I'd already had that. By the time you text me, I was already like, I was beyond that. I was there with my buttermilk chicken.
I mean, so far in all of our watch, this is the most horrific thing. And it didn't give me nightmares, but it just made me feel a bit.
Really? You think this is the worst thing we've seen?
Like classic Doctor Who all the way through. Nothing scared me. I mean, maybe a sensorite coming to the window, but then this is a second.
Nah. I think, like, don't get me wrong, this is pretty disgusting, but I can't think of anything right. I mean, like, look, I'm very fried. I can't think of anything right now off the top of my head, but it's just gruesome because it's disgusting.
If anything,
I still ate the buttermilk chicken. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
I
more
still
of like
carried on eating.
more of like the guy at the end bit, I suppose I'm talking about. But no, this is my first ever behind the sofa moment in Doctor Who that I can say would give me cause to go behind the sofa.
Really?
It's probe unnatural selection, everybody.
Oh my gosh.
If that's his aim. Oh, it was just horrible.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
maybe.
I don't disagree. It was horrible, but I still carried on eating my food.
Because even with just with Liz Shaw, you just don't think anything horrible is going to happen in the presence of Liz Shaw.
I think it's also because we've not had anything like that on Probe yet. So maybe it seemed, but I also quite like that we haven't had anything like that. And so that happened. It sort of brings the unexpected. That's kind of the point, isn't it?
We don't have that detective that we had last time with Liz helping her out. There's
no,
this
he
colonel.
didn't do the job.
So it doesn't even explain. It's just this colonel guy. I mean, in my mind, it's just sort of like it's probe / it's unit, whoever's been brought in to help. It sort of moved very quickly because it is a shorter episode where the assistant of the professor is killed and they find his body. I couldn't work out because you just see all these like squad team? No, squad.
Yeah, squad team.
SWAT team, not squat
I
team.
knew what you meant. I still said squat. I knew exactly what you meant. Yeah.
The SWAT team.
We're calling them the squat team now, love. The squat team. They all squat everywhere.
They all just gather around the house. I'm like, I don't know how they knew what was going on. Maybe I missed that bit. They're talking about, because the professor won't help them. He's brought into the government and they're like, look, what happened with this guy that you created? And he's like, I killed him ages ago. There's no evidence of it. And then they're just, I don't know. Anyway.
I think that like they do the explanation at the beginning. And then after that point, I found that like there's just a lot that you're expected to like just go with. Like people just know things, which is a very Doctor Who thing. It just means the story moves along and you just move with it.
But when this assistant guy dies, we see the attack happen and it's just this naked.
Just a bare bum.
Is that Mark Gatiss then?
It must be. And I wonder if he wrote that like this character's like naked and they're like, well, you're going to have to do it.
Yeah, probably. Maybe he wanted to do that.
Maybe he wrote it as like the creature appears naked and they were like, yeah, do you know what? We're not going to get anyone to do it. We're going to have to pay him more, so you'll have to do it. And he's like, yeah, fine.
Yeah, it was really weird. And then he puts his like hand inside him and like it's all horrible and gruesome and everything. So what he's doing, this creature's like gets on top of you and sort of absorbs your organs or something, or like
I don't know, it's
something.
very sexual. He's naked.
It is, isn't it?
It's very sexual and naked. It was when the bum cheeks came into view. Like, I was about halfway through my fried chicken at this point. I'd moved on to the side. I had fries with it as well. My buttermilk chicken and fries. So I was eating my fries and I was like, oh, there's a bum cheeks.
Do you know what? Out of all of the things that I've never seen before, I'm glad this is the one that I've never seen, because I'm shocked as well. If I'd known about it, I would have had to warn you, like Name of the Rose. I would have had to warn you what's happening.
You never warned me about Name of the Rose. Let's just go back to that. You never warned me about Name of the Rose having naked people. That's why I was so shocked when I watched it.
Yeah, well, I've had that experience
What you
this
told me was
time.
Sean Connery was a detective monk. You never warned me there'd be a bum cheek on the screen like that.
This is happening to me now. I was expecting Liz just to be a normal detective. I didn't expect any bums in this either. So there we go. It's happened to me. I've had that moment.
There we are.
What happened? So anyway, he gets attacked by the bum.
Yeah.
And killed. And it's sort of obvious that it is Mark Gatiss because there's not many other characters.
Not the body gives it away. Like, who else is going to be in that cast? It's a young man. Who else is it going to be?
There's only the professor, him, or Liz, and it's not them.
Or the squat man, as we're calling him now. It's not the squat man.
It's not the squat man. That's what I was talking about. The squat man. Yeah, I didn't like the squat man really because he just came in and he's supposed to have this rapport with Liz, or they've been working together. No mention of anyone else. That's a bit annoying. We haven't had the continuity of like a regular person because we could have had Linda Lusardi, we could have had the detective, we could have had someone with her. That was a bit annoying. But then, so Liz is doing her interview thing. She interviews the professor and is like, what is going on? These people are dying. It's exactly the same as your experiment. And that was a good intense scene. And then he just sort of freezes.
Yeah, I thought he was dead.
No, he did. He died.
Oh, yeah. Making me question. I thought he was dead. Sorry.
Well, no, it took me a minute as well. But no, he died when she's interviewing him. He just freezed.
You were making me question myself. Like, that was a really good intense scene. And then he froze every time.
No, I thought that was really good because he did froze, and then Liz just gets up and just looks really annoyed, and then the next thing he's dead. So,
no.
So anyway, he's dead.
Anyway,
and then
he's dead. Yeah.
And then Crispy Master Guy, the guy from the Ministry that is Liz's boss, is brought into it because he used to know the professor and had something to do with the original thing. So he's at the house and gets tied up and captured by Mark Gatiss. And then this is where it really gets gruesome. Yeah, this is really horrible.
So when I was watching, this was like the last 10 minutes. This is the second time. So I thought all the gruesome stuff was done. So I was eating another meal. This is now day 2. I was having some tapas. And one of my meals was hummus and pita bread. This is not something you want to watch with hummus and pita bread. I stopped eating the hummus. I was a bit like, it's a bit gloopy.
It was horrible. Well, there's many things that happen here. So Mark Gatiss turns out to be the evolution-y experiment guy.
Yeah,
and
shock.
He gets on top, and what his thing, he gets on top of you naked or whatever and absorbs your organs. I've said this a million times. Right, so then he gets the professor, and he's like, I don't know, rebirth the professor or something. Anyway, the professor wakes up, and all pus comes out of his mouth. So that's number 1. That's horrible. That's disgusting. And then
there's so much petroleum jelly used in this.
Yeah, they're covered in it, aren't they?
They are covered. Like, I saw them, I was like, how much petroleum jelly did they stick over these people? Like, oh my gosh, tubs and tubs of it, lathered in it they are.
So Liz comes in to rescue the minister guy. She's got a great jacket on. I don't know if you noticed her, like 90, I want to say it's like a bomber jacket thing.
Yeah.
It's like a really cool jacket with her gun. She's cool. So she comes in, and then we have to get an explanation of what's going on. And she's like, no, actually the professor's dead. You can't recreate all of his organs and stuff. So then that's when Mark Gatiss gets on top of him and you see sort of the legs go up. The whole professor goes up inside him, basically. You see the legs go up his bum. It's just horrible. And then Squat Guy comes in.
Yeah.
And they just sort of, and then that's when, that's when they look, and then that's when Mark Gatiss is all sort of inside out, and he's got this, like, the makeup is great.
Yeah.
And I think the lighting is sort of dark enough as well.
To make it really atmospheric and get away with anything, yeah.
That is really horrible. That is the image that stayed with me. And that's what I was scared was going to walk in at night time.
And that's why it's a 15.
That's why it's a 15. Yeah. I mean, this was in Woolworths. He's on the front cover of the video, that face. And that's what I saw in Woolworths. I can't believe they got
It's
away
so
with
90s, isn't it? It's so 90s. Now there'd be protests.
it. Yeah. And these squat guys sort of shoot. I mean, Liz with a gun. We haven't seen that before. Liz is proper good with a gun. She's been learning that somewhere.
On the slide.
It's a bit Frankenstein-y, this whole ending bit, this whole story. I think that's sort of the inspiration. It's very much like that.
It's like a sci-fi Frankenstein, isn't it?
If this was made now, it would be a Torchwood episode. It's a perfect Torchwood episode, but you haven't really seen Torchwood, so you wouldn't necessarily know. But it's the gruesome stuff that Doctor Who can't do is
Right.
Torchwood, basically. This would be Liz Shaw guest starring in Torchwood would be perfect. They could just recreate this whole episode. That's what it would be.
Am I going to have
yeah,
to Torchwood?
Well, we'll have to discuss that, but I think that might be quite fun. I mean, we're doing all of these. If we were going to do just the main stuff, we could have skipped all of this.
That's Mark dipping his toe into that conversation by entering that into the world. Go on.
And then there's that last scene. They're all having a glass of wine.
Yeah, all very happy and cheery.
Louise Jameson's there going, you should have told me what was going on. And this was like, well, we had to get on with it. Cheers, squad guy.
And then they laugh. And then that's it, isn't it? They have a good joke and a giggle.
So I really enjoyed this. It was, like 47 minutes, 45 minutes, the length of a one New Who episode. Perfect length.
Yeah, I thought actually, lengthwise, it worked really well.
And I'm not sure if this, because I haven't seen it before, but I feel like this is my favourite. Or definitely of the probes. Definitely of the probes. The only thing that I would, in terms of production, that I would mark it down on is the sound, because they're in very echoey hallways and there's lots of clomping, whereas nowadays you would edit around that and someone would do sound design, basically. There's no one to do sound design. I mean, the lady who got attacked at the beginning is doing everyone's makeup, so, they haven't got anyone to do sound design.
She's dead, so
yeah, it's
a miracle that they've got any makeup after that point.
So that's the only thing. But in terms of the story and the characters, what it's about, it tells a perfectly great story. It entertained me for 45 minutes. It was gruesome. I mean, I wish I'd seen this as a child. I don't know what I would have thought as a child. Would I not be allowed to watch? No, I've watched horrible things as a child.
I don't know if maybe that's why you've never watched it. Maybe your parents were like, no. They saw that cover and were like, no.
I don't know if maybe that was it.
Or maybe they'd watched it and were like, no.
No, I don't think my parents watched Probe Unnatural Selection in the 90s without me.
I mean, this is also, bear in mind, there was that whole section of school that you were taken out of.
No, it was only sex education, not unnatural selection.
I mean, this is basically like sex education.
Oh my God, it's the same year. It's the same year this came out on video. Well, I'm really glad we watched it.
You know the Doctor Who annual that you were reading instead of being in sex education? Did that mention Probe?
No, it did. That was an official yearbook. It wouldn't have had Probe in it, no.
Anyway.
I'm going to look up actually when this was made. I wonder if, because they wouldn't have known the TV movie, because, you had all the, the snake and the master and stuff last time. It's a little bit similar, things going in people and stuff. You know what I mean? The master, Gloopy Master last week.
Gloopy Master, yeah.
It's a bit, it's got hints of unnatural selection, hasn't it?
I just think like it's a very Doctor Who-esque thing. I think it's as simple as that.
But you enjoyed this one?
I did, yeah.
I feel like you're positive.
Yeah, I feel if this was the same length as the first one, I think I'd have enjoyed the first one more still.
Okay, that's a cryptic. I don't understand.
So I think I enjoyed the story of the first one more, but I thought this one worked well in terms of like, all in all, with it being that length, I thought the plot worked well, but I enjoyed the story more of the first one.
Okay.
So like, if the first one had also been 45 minutes somehow, I think like that would have been perfect for me and would be like my number one. I still preferred the first story, I think.
See, I didn't like the first story. I would have liked the thing I like about the first one is more of the cast and stuff. I mean, they could have done. Imagine this, and they got John Pertwee to be the professor in this.
See,
That would have been
I did
great.
really enjoy the first one. So
John Pertwee is the professor, and Sylvester McCoy instead of Mark Gatiss in this. That would have been brilliant. Sylvester McCoy on top of John Pertwee.
I don't need to see Sylvester McCoy's bum. No, thank you. I didn't need to see Mark Gate. I didn't need to see anyone's bum. Colourful bottoms, thank you very much.
Well, I can't guarantee there won't be any more at some point.
No, you haven't watched them all. You don't know.
Actor watch, by the way. So in terms of the lead, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got a 5-way tie. So it's Sophie Aldred, Peter Davison, Caroline John, Louise Jameson, and Mark Gatiss, if you want to include him. All
Might as well.
All have 3 at the moment, doing their thing for the 90s. Champion of the 90s. I think whichever actor wins should be our icon of the Oscars of the 90s. Because they put the work in. They
put a lot of work in.
Let's see. I've just got my notes. So I did write them out. Oh, here we go. Right, so 96. Oh, so we are on to 97 now. So I'm off to secondary school.
Oh.
In September.
I'm 7. I'm still in primary.
Oh, and it's called Auton.
Oh, okay.
So the only official license thing is the Autons.
Right, yeah. I guess that from the name.
There aren't any actual Doctor Who actors in it. It's all new. Reece Shearsmith's in it playing someone else.
Oh.
But everybody else is new, so it's just the Autons on Unit and the Autons, but no actors from Doctor Who. All new actors. And it's about 50 minutes. You don't, you like the Autons? I love the Autons. Absolutely love the Autons.
Well, we'll see.
Love them. This is one of my favourites.
I'm going to just keep an open mind.
Well, what do you think of Unnatural Selection, everybody? If you've seen it, let us know. It is pretty gruesome. You've been warned. If you've listened to this already, we've spoiled the whole thing, but you've been warned. In the meantime, you can find us at To Watch Who on Instagram, Twitter and Blue Sky, and you can support us at patreon.com. We are moving over from Buy Me a Coffee to Patreon. We're in the middle of that changeover at the moment. I put up our second Bob's Burgers thing.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't done that. Part 2. I put it up as a video, actually. So that'd be fun. And I was trying to find to put up on Patreon because last week in the TV movie, he regenerated and there was Frankenstein. We watched the original Frankenstein, didn't we? For our
I had a moment there
thing.
when I thought you were talking about Bob's Burgers again, and I was like, when did they regenerate? So go on.
So in the regeneration in the TV movie, there's the Frankenstein, which is the original film, and we did an episode. We watched that film and talked about it. So I was trying to find that to put up for the patrons for our books thing.
You can hopefully look forward to that, everyone.
Yeah, I'll put that up as soon as I find it. I'll dig that out, remaster it, remix, remaster. And we'll see you next week for Autumn.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
You didn't say that you can find us on Twitter.
I did.
Sky. Oh, you did.
I did the whole thing. I don't think you were listening.
I
did the whole thing.
To Watch Who.